Hi again, everybody. Bill Phillips here on a Thursday. It is a Thursday that sees Ohio County and all parts of the Ohio Valley come together to try and continue the recovery efforts after the flash flood on Saturday over the weekend. 45 minutes of rain that just tore apart parts of Ohio County, destroyed lives, destroyed property, and now everybody's trying to come together to recover from that. And it's one of those efforts that you see people pull together. And you see people when it's tough times, you see what they're made of, and they've pulled together. The Ohio Valley has pulled together. We have relief efforts everywhere, so we have that to talk about. We're going to talk about that with the one and only Olivia Zinn, and we'll also be talking about Juneteenth as well, national holiday. Today, Juneteenth, commemorating the day that in Galveston, Texas, Major General Gordon made the announcement, and General Order number 3 it was. And people in Galveston, the final group of people in the country that found out that the Civil War was over and that all slaves were free men and women. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the recovery efforts. And right now, we're going to welcome to the stage the one and only Olivia Zinn. And there she is. Olivia, how are you?
I'm good. I hope you guys can see me okay.
We can. You've gone vertical on us. Not horizontal. There you go.
Is that better?
Perfect. Either way, it is great to see you. And haven't really seen you on the anchor desk this week because you have been in Ohio County. You've been working to bring the stories of what's going on in the Ohio County in terms of recovery efforts, in terms of the search for missing people. And you've done an excellent job. And it's one of those situations where it is hard. It is hard to do. And a lot of people think, well, news people, they just show up and they do the stories and it doesn't affect them or anything like that. It does. Jamie Baker was on earlier this week. She started to cry a bit when we were talking about what was going on. It's tough. I mean, it's tough because some stuff that we have the opportunity to see maybe a little bit up closer than everybody else. It's not easy. So you've done a fantastic job all week. Can't thank you enough for that. And before we get started, because you know how important they are, Valley Converting. Paper products. If you have any paper products that you need to take care of to recycle to help the environment, you got to go see Mike Biasi and the crew up in T-Town, the Gem City of Toronto, Ohio. That's right. All right, here we go.
Every piece of paper has a story. What if that story didn't end when you were done with it?
At Valley Converting, we turn your old paper products into recycled paperboard, continuing the story.
Locally owned and operated in Toronto, Ohio, bringing your paper to Valley Converting isn't just about recycling.
It's about supporting a cleaner, greener future for all of us.
We are here 5 days a week to help you make some green by going green.
And remember,
recycle for your future.
Can't thank Valley Converting enough. And remember, Olivia, recycle for your future because they do a great job. So if you have anything, please do that. Amanda Verrier, on her way out of town when she was leaving, packing up, she said, I have to take all of these boxes and everything over to Valley Converting. So she said, you've told me about it so many times. I said, well, okay, good. You're helping the environment. Suzanne checking in, just giving us a hey, Mr. Bill and Olivia. Hey, and one of the things we want to talk about before I forget, if we get down the road too far, want to mention Dave Caring for WTOV9 and the United Way of the Upper Ohio Valley, 3 places that you can go and drop off items if you want to help in the recovery efforts, cleaning products, bottled water, non-perishable food items. You can go to Steubenville M&M Hardware today, Friday, and Saturday. You go to Sally Buffalo Park in Caddis the same 3 days, and also over to WVU Medicine, Weirton Medical Center, front parking lot, Same 3 days. Today it's from 9 to 5. So Friday it's 9 to 5, and Saturday it's 9 to 3. And those products, I've already heard, Olivia, that pallets of water are showing up, and people are bringing in items. So if you have the opportunity to do that, greatly appreciate it. If you go to the historic Fort Steuben tonight for the concert series event, if you want to bring donations there will be a place where you can make donations there as well. Okay, we've set the stage for you. What has it been like? I mean, you've gone, you've talked to the governor, you've talked to Lou Vargo, the head of the emergency, you've talked to first responders, you've talked to folks that have had their lives turned upside down. What is this whirlwind of a week, and not in a good way, been like? Because if it's a whirlwind and you're on vacation, that could involve a lot of fun. Unfortunately, this not necessarily that case. But what has it been like on the ground, right there, day in, day out this week, to see what people are going through and how people are responding?
It's something that you can't explain until you see it. I know. I do really want to preface and give a little bit of background. I actually was on vacation a couple days. I left Wednesday night and was supposed to be gone through Monday. My family and I went up to Michigan, and quite literally, I got the call from Nelson Croft. He was also on vacation, and he never called
Nelson
me.
Croft, the Ohio County Sheriff.
Yes, Nelson Croft, Ohio County Sheriff. And he never calls me unless it's something big. And he says, Olivia, can you please put this on the news for me? And I said, yes. I was literally playing mini golf with my family. And I said, absolutely. I dropped everything, and I got the information out as quick as I could. And he said, these roads are flooded. I need you to put that out for me. And in that moment, I didn't really know how bad it was getting. It was right around 8:30 when it first started flooded, just a few roads at that point. And I messaged Skylar Sabansky and the people that were working Saturday night, hey, here's the roads closed. See what you can do. They put it on, and then kind of just went on with my night, try to keep them updated, and then went to sleep. The next morning I saw, everything roll in, and people were texting me saying how many people had already died, and that it was a 30 to 45 minute span, that people were literally getting washed away. They were so many stories that I've seen. It's just hard to put into words. And I know it affected me so very much driving back. And again, I was supposed to be on vacation till Monday. And I remember calling our boss, Don Sloan, and I said, I need to get back ASAP. So I was driving back about an 8-hour drive. And I said, I want to be on standby from Monday. These are my people. I'm not originally from Wheeling. I know a lot of people know that. I'm from more north central West Virginia, which also got hit with this flood over the weekend on Sunday. But Wheeling has become like my hometown, it feels. I went to Bethany, so I was always in Wheeling for a variety of things. And these are my people. I've worked here for about 2.5 years, almost 3 years now, on and off with school and now full time. And I just knew that I needed to get back. And people were messaging on Facebook, I need a reporter. I need someone to tell me where I need to go and what I need to do. I have family members missing. I need to know. So I knew that I needed to be that source of information for them. And I know Jamie Baker did the very similar thing and was starting at 4 a.m. on Monday morning trying to put out that information. And we really very much appreciate it. And like I said, Bill, it's just something that you just have to see it in person. And I've been talking to all these families and all these people that are just distraught. I know one person that I talked to on Tuesday is actually the family of the 19-year-old Travis Creighton, who unfortunately has passed away following that Saturday's flash flooding. And I literally broke down. I'm going to be super honest with you guys. My heart poured out to them, and not just them, but all of these families that not only lost a loved one, but lost their homes. I was talking to them, Donna and Brian, the parents, and he just graduated from Wheeling Park High School, graduated from West Virginia Northern. He was going to be 20 years old next month and had so many plans for his life. And I'll never forget one of the things that Donna, his mother, told me. They were inside and they just saw the walls collapse on them. And the last thing, the last word that his mother heard from his son Travis was, "Mom, just swim as much as you can." And she told me later, she physically moved. This is how fast the water was moving. This is what I've really learned over this past week too, just how fast floodwaters can move. She moved, Bill, 5 miles down the waterways and was caught under the bridge. The debris saved her.
Yeah.
And she told me, she said, there was something up above God that was literally keeping me afloat. She had like a little twig underneath of her neck. The only way that saved her was that. And I'll never forget that. They were such sweet people. All the people that I've met have just been so wonderful, and my heart just pours out to them. And I think, yeah, you.
We have some comments. Mickey checking in saying good morning to everybody. We appreciate that. Suzanne with another comment, and she says, I have to say, you journalists have the best job, hands down. You're all passionate about getting down to the stories when it's serious or fun. My question is, how hard is it when you're working a story? How do you not get too emotional about it? I'll let you try and answer that first, because you know me, I cry at everything. So it can be tough. It can be tough. To be, one of those things, and maybe I'll just start, but we've had so many shootings across the country and all that type of stuff. But I'm just going to use that as an example. I've struggled with that, and talk to someone like, okay, how do I keep from getting too wrapped up in that, where you're telling the story, but you do it so many times, it starts to impact you a little bit. So I have had some conversations with a professional therapist, just to be like, hey, I need some coping mechanisms to, it's like, I'm doing well, but it's like, this is tough. And so yeah, you can get emotional. You can get, if it's a story about a little kid. I've had to take my IFB, which you hear the reports on. I've had to a number of times take the IFB out so I can't hear the story, because if I hear the story, I'm gonna be a mess. And especially if it has to do with little kids and there's something, it's just, I can't do it. Now I'm getting, anyway, how do you do it? Because I know it's tough that you're right in the center of the storm this week. So I know it's not easy. And it's hard to separate it.
It is very, very difficult, and we really appreciate that question. This whole week has just been an emotional roller coaster, and I can't even imagine the people that are going through what they're going through. Like, I'm not even on the front lines, and I'm telling the story. I can't imagine going home and you don't have a home, going home and you don't have your son or your family member. And it's been really tough. And I just,
you've had first responders that you've talked to that they can't go home because their house is gone, or the roads washed away, so they can't get home. And I think I can't remember the gentleman's name. He was, I can't remember the fire department, but you talked to him one morning, and he said, yeah, I've got to go get clothes somewhere. I've got, I can't get to my house. And he's out looking for people. He's out looking and going through, trying to help people. And it's just like, man, like you're saying, it's got to be tough.
It has gotten tough. And I know the specific area that you're speaking of, it's one of those things too, like you have to know the area to really understand. I was talking to a gentleman today, Mark Pellicetti. He owns Liberty Distributors, and he said that this is the 5th flood that they've seen. They have distributions every day, about 17 trucks coming in and out. And the little Wheeling Creek on the side of US 40, he said, it's never, ever crested before. It's always been little waterways on the side. It's never been that before. And I drive that road, US 40, from Triadelphia to Valley Grove all the time. If there's an accident on 70, I drive that and I see those little houses, and I always wonder what would happen if it got flooded. And because it's literally a bridge like this big to all these houses, this little community. And I've always thought about that. And And that's what they're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
And it's really so devastating because, and it's just an honor to them for all those people that are working and trying to help. They're putting these other people first, when in reality, they also don't have a home to go to. They might not have a family to go home to. And I think, Bill, we wanted to talk about the community support a little bit too. And it's just an ode to that. I've never seen anything like this. A lot of things are circulating around social media, and they're calling it Ohio County Strong. And that's what it is.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And SMC back and sorry to hit you in the feels, Bill. That wasn't my intention. No problem. I'll tell you what, depending on the day, depending on what I'm watching, it could be a commercial. And I might get, a little worked up with the teary eyed or something. It's not that I'm sad. Usually it's something that has made me happy, or it's something that it's hard. And it's just one of those things where for whatever reason, that's my reaction. I mean, my kids that I coach soccer with for years, at the end of every season, they would all laugh because I'd usually have the same kids back, and I'd get down in front of them. I just want to thank you guys for working. Next thing I know, I'm crying. They're like, why is coach crying? And it's like, we're a bunch of 10-year-olds playing soccer and coach is crying. I'm like, it's just, you spend time with people. And I think that's the big thing. It's people connecting with people. It's yes. If there's anything beating in your chest, you can't help but be moved by some of these things that you see, some of these things that are great and uplifting, or the worst of the worst. It's just one of those things. So and if anybody's out there and you're like me, where you get like that, don't ever apologize. Don't ever apologize for it, because that's just who you are and how you react. And if people want to be like, well, what's going on here, it's who you are, it's who I am. It's just one of those things. And but one of those things is you doing an outstanding job this week. And I can't say that enough. You've been absolutely outstanding. And Brian checking in now. One thing for sure is the Ohio Valley is strong and people will rally around one another. Absolutely. And every little town, every little hamlet, every little village, I was thinking about it, and I'll bring it up again, Olivia. We have the Day of Caring. We're working with the United Way to try and get cleaning products, food, water, anything we can down to help people. And you look at the list of them: Sally, Buffalo Park, and Caddis. Yeah. I'm thinking, what's the connection? What's the connection to Wheeling, Ohio County? It's the Ohio Valley. That's the connection.
Trying to help out. Yep.
Weirton. Just up the road, you've got, Steubenville, people are, and the Day of Carings for WTOV9 and the United Way today, tomorrow, and Saturday, 9 to 3 today and tomorrow, and then 9 to 5 today and tomorrow, and then 9 to 3 on Saturday. And then at the concert series tonight at historic Fort Steuben, you can bring donations there. Those aren't the only ones. I mean, there are so many places, little, volunteer fire departments. The one I think about is Chester, because the first time I read it, it was the American Legion. They said 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. And I'm thinking, well, don't they mean 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and to drop things off? And I went, no, it's the Legion. They're probably open watching a ball game on the West Coast, having a refreshment at 2 a.m. If you stop by, get a refreshment, and we'll take your donation. So. A lot of people doing a lot of good things. Now I'm gonna shift gears just a little bit, Olivia, and talk about this. Juneteenth, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, June 19th, 1865. The people of Galveston, Texas, were basically the last group of people to find out that the Civil War was over. It ended a couple of years earlier, but they finally got that information, and all slaves became free men. Well, just a few years ago, President Joe Biden made it a national holiday, Juneteenth, and there are celebrations up and down the Ohio Valley on this day and throughout the weekend. Really, now I've heard people are they're gonna start, or organizations are gonna start with. There's one. I'm just using this as an example. There's one that's going to be at the historic Fort Steuben. Parade today to
Okay.
the Baptist Church, and so that's going to be today. Then at the North End Ballpark, there's going to be celebration today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. If I do not have enough time or a list in front of me that's long enough, but if you go to WTOV9.com, there are a number of celebrations for Juneteenth. If you're looking to celebrate Juneteenth, you want to be a part of an event, whether it's a parade or a picnic or a gathering to play sports or whatever the case may be, or a church service, you can go to WTOV9.com and you'll be able to find that list. But a new national holiday, the newest since Martin Luther King Jr., when his national holiday was official back in 1983. So Juneteenth today. And you know what? A good day if you can get out and celebrate, because maybe it'll take your mind off of the flooding and everything in Ohio County. You know, take that time to go and celebrate and have some fellowship with everybody, you know, over something that is historic, super important, and you can learn things. And Olivia, I told my kids this all the time, and I try and do it no matter what the national holiday is. Depending on what the day is, if it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I try and tell them, or I try and watch a documentary, or I'll try and read a book, or I'll try and do some study on it so I can learn more about it. So it's not just it's a day off from school. It's a day off.
Right.
If it's Memorial Day or Labor Day or Thanksgiving, try and figure out something about the holiday. So Juneteenth is a new holiday. Some people may not have an idea about exactly what it's all about. Well, do a little research and take that time to figure that out. We got a few more comments, Olivia, if we're gonna do that. So let's see. K.A. Smith checking in. Ohio Valley strong. I don't live in Wheeling, but I was born in Wheeling. I could look from my backyard and see the hills of West Virginia from my backyard. I worked in Wheeling. It's just as much my home because it's embedded in my entire life. Absolutely. And that's the thing. I'm not from the Ohio Valley. I wasn't born here. I got here, I think it was about 25 years old. Well, now, I mean, I've been here longer than I was anywhere else. And it's one of those places. It just gets in your soul a little bit. It gets in your, it gets in your craw. It gets in your craw a little bit.
It's just the community. It really is. I've never seen a community like this before, especially because, of course it is the Ohio Valley, but I've never experienced anything like this until moving here. You've got the tri-state area just all for you and all in support of you. You've got Ohio, you've got West Virginia, you've got Pennsylvania, and it's just all this group of people that always put everybody else first, and it's incredible.
Absolutely. SMC checking back in again. When the flooding story hit, you all were all doing what you could to help the people in the community. The QR code to get the word out. So thank you to all of you at WTOV for helping the community hit hard by the flooding. Thank you very much for the kind words. We really appreciate it. It's one of those things I always say, if there's a food drive, if there's a blood drive, those are the things we need to make sure we're getting the word out about. Whether or not, some other stories that get on the air, it could be a bear story because I'm partial to those bear stories. But, maybe I should, take a bear story off, put a story on about what, how we can help each other out. Those bear stories are pretty good, Olivia. You know that.
Bill, you should do the bear noise. I think everyone needs it.
Swear to the bear. All right. K.A. Smith, every person who lives in Ohio right across the river I've spoken to since Saturday, they're doing anything they can do to help, whether it's donating, organizing, donation drives, or going over to help. We are here for our Ohio Valley community. Absolutely.
And
that's where I start getting choked up. When I start reading like that, that's when I get, I start thinking too much. But that's true. I mean, it's just, it's great to see. I wish we didn't have to see it. But it's great to see. And I think we might leave it here, Olivia. Bill, I cry when I hear John Denver, Country Roads, LOL. I mean,
I'm the same way. I cry every time that I hear that. That's like my birth song.
Yeah, it's like your anthem. It's like your anthem. Right. It's one of those things where it's just It really is. It's just you hear that song, it makes you feel good.
It does.
And here's the thing. I didn't know anything about West Virginia when I got here. I drive around West Virginia. I'm always amazed. I just drive. It's such a beautiful state. It's absolutely gorgeous state. And the people are nice. And it's a wonderful place. So you hear that song and some people from outside, West Virginia, it's like, no, you don't get it. You don't get it. It's fantastic. And the same with Ohio. They're both great places to be. All right. And Olivia, we got Brian checking back in. WTOV9 is the best news, weather, and sports you could ask for. Thank you very much, Brian. We appreciate it. And okay, Olivia, we're gonna let you get the last word in, but Kay Smith, pretty good one here. If you decline to try and top this one, I want to say this first: is thank you for all the work you're doing this week, because I know it's not easy. Greatly appreciate it. And will I see you tomorrow on the desk, or I'm going to see you in Wheeling again?
You'll see me in Wheeling again, but I'll see you Monday unless anything changes.
All right, deal. I'll see you on Monday. So here, if you can top this, make sure you stop and say, okay, I can top this, Bill. But if you can't, we're gonna wrap it up and roll on. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Boom. Almost Heaven, West Virginia.
West Virginia.
There you go.
Nothing else better.
No. All right, Olivia, thank you so much. And Olivia, you know the two rules. Have fun and always try your best. So make sure you're doing that. I know you're doing that.
Phill-Up.
Everybody out there, make sure you're doing that. We can't thank you enough. Olivia, thank you for joining us. Valley Converting, thank you. Everybody for getting on and making comments and sharing their stories. We greatly appreciate it. Olivia, if I don't see you in person tomorrow, I'll see you on the news.
Okay.
All right.
You guys take care.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Hey, bye. We'll keep up the great work.
All right. You guys too. Bye.